Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Results Show, where we feature real health coaches and practitioners getting real results for themselves and their clients. I am your host, Piper Gibson, Director of FDN course enrollment. And if you guys are ready, drop the word science into the chat box and we are going to send you FDN's 3-step guide to getting real results. I am really excited to have Tracy Stonaker with us on today's show. She is going to talk about a subject that I find totally fascinating. So I am so excited to have you here, Tracy. She is going to be teaching us about Ayurveda and a functional approach to an ancient science. Hi, Tracy. How are you today?
I'm awesome. Thank you. So glad to be here.
I am so glad you are here to join us. I'm really excited about this topic today. Tell us what prompted you to become an FDN.
Oh, you know, like we all have our path towards health and wellness. Mine has been really long, and I've done many programs. I think some of the people that I've actually met here in FDN have also done other programs. We've all done some similar ones. And then I landed in the world of Ayurveda I've been teaching yoga for 25 years. So the sister science to yoga is Ayurveda. And it's basically what I call the lifestyle component, where yoga is mind style. And the two intersect and live together in harmony, right? So much about Ayurveda is this ancient texts and these words that people don't understand. So when I found functional medicine, I was like, whoa, this is Ayurveda, but with a Western voice, right? So I'm able to, when I was learning functional medicine, I had done a course before FDN and found it to be a little bit lacking. So when I came to FDN, I was like, oh, thank goodness you people are speaking the language of Ayurveda, but in a manner that people can understand. So it was so refreshing and exhilarating that finally I can speak to people and be like, oh, well, we're talking about habits versus these rituals and all this other stuff that some people kind of get turned off and think is a little woo-woo. But basically, functional medicine is Ayurveda, so it's pretty cool. We just didn't have the lab work to do back then, right? They weren't sending things off to labs. They were looking in eyes and investigating poop, which we all still do, you know, in just a different manner, right? And checking pulse and all the things that the assessments of Ayurveda, but now we've just given it this modern way to approach it through functional medicine and the lab testing and through these programs. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I love it. When did you graduate from FDN and how long did it take you to complete the course?
I graduated in December and it took me about 6 months. I kind of dove right in. I was on a mission.
That's kind of how I am. Just go big or go home. Just dive in. So.
Might as well, right? Exactly.
Right. Absolutely. So how are you, or how did you, what are you doing to build your practice as an FDN and as an Ayurveda practitioner?
So it's interesting, as we all evolve and it gets changed, it changes up a little bit here and there. I had taken a couple business courses right before landing at FDN and, you know, find your niche and build a program and, you know, all these things, but I'm in this group with people that are not of this mindset. You know, there's realtors in there and there's financial advisors, that's a foreign language to me. So when I found FDN and then when I found Jen, I was like, okay, you know, it's all about the mindset of a health and wellness consultant here. So using what I learned from Jen to actually catapult me into running my own program, creating an online platform, learning these modalities to automate as much as you possibly can, right? So we're not stuck at the computer or at our phones all the time. But just to make an efficient use of our time so we're able to be in front of our clients more. So that's what I've been doing. I've been running programs. I landed it at FDN at the conference in October, met some of the most amazing people. I felt like everything that I had learned just got up-leveled a notch while we were there. The energy was amazing. The people were amazing. The practitioners there were amazing. The vendors, meeting all these people that I had been following for so long, I was like, oh, I get to see you outside of this little box, right? I actually get to meet you in person. which, you know, landed me now. I actually just took a gig with Cellcore Biosciences. So I have been able to leverage their protocol and their products and layer on my own program, and it's genius. Like, it's genius. I can't even tell you. Plus, they have an Ayurvedic component to their line as well, so that drew me in a long time ago, and so I've been following them for years. And then I met Dr. Watts at our FDN conference, and, you know, this is the beautiful thing about the conference. You never know what's going to happen. You never know who you're going to meet and how that's going to actually change the path of what you're doing. And yeah, it's been great. So I'm loving working with them. They're a very smart bunch of people.
Well, congratulations. That is awesome. On that note, let's talk about how the FDN community has really supported you in your business and in your own health endeavors.
Wow. I think more than anything, it helped me to be more targeted and more specific. Because we all come out of FDN and we're like, I can help everybody, which we could, right? But not everybody speaks your language. Not everybody is going to understand your voice. So one of the things I felt really free to do was to be myself and to be authentic and to use my Ayurveda in a manner that, you know, not as many people, especially I'm in Chicago, right? I'm in the Midwest. We're always the last to jump on board of anything. So with that said, there aren't a whole lot of Ayurveda people here in the Midwest. So I found it a really big struggle. I felt like I was in a silo. And through FDN, I've met some amazing practitioners where we actually meet on Zoom, like once a week, once a month. Now I have a study group that exponentially we helped each other graduate on time and, you know, with our wherewithal without losing our sanity while doing that written final. So I think that I've been able to streamline my business in a way that I didn't think was possible before. So even though I'm going to be working with Cellcore, I'm still running my own program. So I'm still using everything, the labs, and it's way more targeted and way more streamlined. So it's been amazing. Yeah.
Yes. I love the FDN community, and I love how you guys have leveraged each other to get through the final written exam to help yourselves graduate. So I love that. I love the FDN community. So super supportive. How has using the lab testing and FDN approach really helped you with your own client cases?
I think the biggest thing is, first of all, because we know from the practitioner side, we already know what to do, usually with a client, right? But what I love about the labs is it gives them a tangible before and after snapshot of their journey, so that they're not feeling so out of the loop. And actually the fact that we get to sit and talk to them, what doctor is talking to them about their lab work? They're just like, oh, you're normal, see you next year, versus, no, we could tweak this a little bit. And
oh no, Tracy, you froze. Are you there? Let's see if we can get Tracy back. Let me see if I can get Tracy back. She is frozen. Everybody, thank you for joining us. I'm going to see if I can get Tracy back online here. If you want to drop the word sciences into the chat. There we go.
Are you back?
Yes, we're back. Okay. We were frozen. Sorry, everybody.
I'll tell you, I have a thing with computers. We don't get along very well. So it's just in keeping with everything else. I break a lot of stuff.
That's okay. I have a thing with printers, so I completely
understand. Good. So frustrating.
Do you have an ideal niche or client that you are working with?
I actually do. It's very, very targeted. I work a lot with women who are 40 and above, who have gone through domestic abuse and have experienced domestic abuse and are coming out of it and trying to heal their body, heal their mind, and understand what life can be like after experiencing domestic abuse. Yeah, it's pretty targeted.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And how do you apply the FDN approach to that target, to that ideal client?
So many women that I work with who have experienced trauma. First of all, the story is so important. and to understand that their story is not the current reality, right? And uncovering, we talk about hidden stressors in the body, even through FDN and through the DRESS protocol. And it's like, but this takes it a little bit deeper. I kind of came to FDN already with this idea that this was the group I wanted to work, because it's my story, right? I can relate completely. I fell apart, my adrenals crashed, thyroid, who knows what it was doing at the time. But I didn't really address the trauma piece and healing that, along with supporting the healing of my body. Our issues are in our tissues, and they reside there until we actually face them. And so much even about Ayurveda is not only are we digesting our food and assimilating food, but it's how are you digesting your experiences, right? And that perception, and are you going through life with the perception that everything is trauma, which a lot of women actually do after they've experienced, they're scared, there's a lot of fear, and we know what happens when you're scared and fearful. You're rarely in rest and digest mode. So using that and layering that on everything with the labs and everything, it's this full picture that we get to be like, okay, let's dive in. What's going on? I'm not a therapist, but I have built a pretty good network of therapists around me that do, teach EFT, so the emotional freedom technique, tapping. One of my all-time favorite techniques was EMDR. So that particular type of therapy goes really, really deep. And I actually look at that from the perspective of yoga, and it's actually reprogramming our brain, the neural pathways of our brain, which is yoga, right? So deep meditation does the same thing. This is just really fast. So yeah, so layering all of it on, it's been such a great ride.
That's awesome. Tell everybody what EMDR stands for.
Eye movement desensitization. I always forget the R. Reprogramming? Maybe.
Programming, yeah.
Oh, ask Sage Google. Sorry, guys. I always forget the R. Always.
That's all right. Sorry I put you on the line. I just thought that maybe,
okay.
Everybody out there is probably going, what's EMDR?
Well, it's a type of therapy where the eyes start to move left to right. And what that does is it starts to reprogram. You're dealing with a particular target in your session with your therapist, and or a trigger, and you're reprogramming how you feel about that trigger, so it no longer shows up as a physical response. It's a memory, because you can't forget what happened, right? We don't really want to forget, but it's another tool in our toolbox to help us relieve the body of that burden, which is amazing once you do. I mean, magic happens.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how you work. Are you part-time, full-time? Do you work in person? Do you work virtual? Like, how are you working with your own clients?
Right now, I am all virtual. Yeah. I created an online program, and I was even virtual with people here in Chicago, which is so funny. And I do a group setting. So I run people through a group program together, but I also give them individual sessions, one-on-one sessions during the length of the program, because you have to, right? You can't do a interpretation of labs in a group setting, nor would you want to. So everybody was on the same page, and it builds a great support system, I think, when you're working with a group, and especially my group, there's women. They all come from a similar place. They're all experiencing similar things. So they get to support each other and actually build a rapport and exponentially heal together, which is the most magical part. Mm-hmm.
Tell everybody how they can find you, get in touch with you. Do you have a website, social media?
I do. All of it's pretty much the same. TracyJStonaker.com. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on LinkedIn. I've limited it to that because I'm not a big social media kind of person. So, but I am using it as much as I can to leverage and to reach out to as many women as I can. I created a private, so if anyone's listening and you've experienced domestic abuse and you're a woman, I've created a private Facebook group called Damage Undone. And this is where we don't bitch and bash, we help and heal each other. So it's all about supporting women coming out of that. It's great.
I love that. I love it. It's awesome, Tracy. That's the coolest niche. And that's really one of the cool things about FDN is that it just applies to everybody. You can use it with your niche. I can use it with mine. And everybody's is different, and it's works on the whole body. So I just love it.
Right.
What is your #1 tip or tool, resource, piece of info that you learned from FDN that has made all the difference in your personal health or as a practitioner in order to help you really get those real results?
Honestly, I think going to the conference was one of the best parts of the entire program. You know, because it's a virtual endeavor, and we don't get to have that energy of being in the same room with people, and you feed off of that energy and you take it home with you. And that's the most beautiful thing. And you're getting to meet these beautiful people who are super, super smart. And, you know, they just they challenge you in ways that you can't do on your own, which is probably one of the greatest things that I got out of FDN was just this connection and this collaboration that I've been able to manifest, right? From just from that. And I love the dress protocol. Actually, my protocol was very similar before coming into FDN. Mine's eat, sleep, nurture, awaken, move, and ease. So very similar. And I was like, oh, look, just validation, first of all, it's always huge that I'm on the right path. Yeah. So.
For sure. 100%. Is there a piece of advice that you would like to share with health coaches and professionals who might be watching this right now?
I would say look at your own story, first of all, and what is comfortable with you when working with other people. Because people come out of this and they're like, I don't know who to market to. As long as you're comfortable with your story, you're going to attract people with a pretty similar background and similar experiences. And that is who you're going to be able to help, I think, the most. I've been asked.
Uh-oh, we have some more technical difficulties. Tracy froze again. Let's see if we get her back. In the meantime, if you guys are still watching, make sure to drop the word science into the chat, and we are going to send you FDN's 3-step guide. So drop the word science into the chat. And if you have questions, make sure to drop them there as well. We would love to answer those for you. If you are watching the replay, absolutely drop the word science. You're still going to get the guide, and ask your questions. We will get to those too if you are watching the replay. Let's see if we can get Tracy back. We're having those technical difficulties again. It took a minute while ago. Let's see if she comes back. Thank you guys for joining us. Absolutely. Joelle and Sarah and Barbara. Uh-oh, we have lost Tracy. Let's see if we can get her back. If we cannot get her back, I will let you guys go for today, and I hope that you learned a whole bunch of information from Tracy. Let me see if she hops back on, and if she doesn't, then we will go ahead and jump off. So make sure to drop the word science. We are going to send you FDN's 3-step guide. Hi, Chip. Welcome. Hey, Danielle. Hey, everybody. Okay, Tracy's back. I'm going to drop her back in here. Okay. Maybe. Here we go, Tracy. All right, you're back. You're back.
It makes me giggle.
We were having, you know, when you're dealing with technology, it's just going to happen.
Agreed.
So definitely, it wasn't that bad. So you were talking about your advice for health coaches that might be like your #1 piece of advice.
Yeah, to go back to your story and use your story to talk to your clients. Use your story to find your clients, right? I think that's how we're going to connect on a fundamental level with our potential customers, or maybe it's a story that you're familiar with and that you're comfortable with. Just as long as you're comfortable with it, so that when it comes down to building packages and programs, you're not doubting yourself. And I've heard this so many times from people who have finished courses and they're like, oh gosh, now what do I do? And how do I reach my people? And it's like, well, just tell your story. As soon as I started being open about my own story, I mean, people just came in. It's amazing what happens when you just become humble and you stand in that position. And then you have that ownership over, because people talk about, oh, what do I price? How much do I charge? if you're comfortable with your story and who you're working with, you will be comfortable with charging what you deserve. So I am a huge and firm believer that everything we do comes from our heart, and people know that, and they can pick up on it. So, and most of the people, I mean, this is the most beautiful thing about FDN. Everyone I've met has got such a great niche, and everyone is doing this from the heart, and it's so amazing. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Tracy, I want to thank you so much for being on our show today. It was fantastic to talk with you and learn all of this awesome information about what it is you do. And thank you for sharing your insights with others so that they can really also get real long-term sustainable results. Tell us one more time, if people are interested in working with you, how they can find you.
So tracyjstonaker.com is my website. And I can be reached at tracy@tracyjstonaker.com. But you'll also find me, I'm hoping to be at the next conference this next time with Cellcore. So you can find me with Cellcore as well. So I'm super, super excited about watching them grow, because their protocol and everything that they do is amazing. And if you haven't met Dr. Watts or Dr. Jay Davidson, it would behoove you for sure. So that's where I'm at.
Awesome. You will find me at the conference too. I wouldn't miss it. It's going to be a blast. It was a blast last year. I definitely agree. So thank you guys, everybody who joined us today. Like I said, drop the word science and we are going to send you FDN's 3-step guide for getting real results. Thank you again, Tracy, for joining me today.
Thank you, dear.
If you are ready to become a true health detective and you want to help others, or maybe yourself, and just to go deeper, you can schedule a call with one of our FDN course counselors at functionaldiagnosticnutrition.com/counselor. You will be able to schedule with me, Jess, or Kelly. And if you are ready to enroll in the course, you can enroll at functionaldiagnosticnutrition.com/FBLive. So thank you guys for joining us today. If you have questions, drop them. We will definitely get to those. And thank you again, Tracy. It was great having you. We will be here next week. Bye, everybody. Thank you.